All right, guys. Beat the Streets, New York City. Awesome event. Had a great time watching the event with a couple homeboys last night, and the wrestling was great. Sold out. 5,000 seats sold out at the theater at Madison Square Garden. So hope the event did well and raised a bunch of money for the Beat the Streets program. Wrestling was fun. Ben Askren versus Burroughs, kind of what you would expect. I was hoping that Askren would get into some interesting positions and figure out some ways to score. It seemed like, man, only one time when Burroughs was shooting a double, he almost got to some chest wrap position, but Burroughs just stayed out of trouble and kept scoring. And man, he's an Olympic champion, and so he really just dominated that match. So Askren, get back to training. Masvidal's coming up. Go crush that guy for us, for the wrestling community. Thanks for competing. Probably the biggest match of the night, the funnest one too. Yianni Diakomahalis takes out the Indian Pania, world silver medalist. I guess ranked number 1 in the world. 10-8 match. I think it was 2-2 at break. But just a super exciting win. Yianni takes out the best of the United States at the U.S. Open, and now beats a world medalist. So that's amazing. Now, one thing we got to remember is that this wasn't the World Championships, and a lot of times the U.S. guys have win these big matches and events like this. But my experience is that the international guys, they're on a whole nother level come World Championships or Olympic. They're just peaked at a different level, and that really matters to them. But and Yianni even made a comment himself that wasn't the World Championships, but nothing to take away from him. Super exciting. I mean, I'm getting messages from people like, "Oh, he's the future." Well, he's the right now, and stuff like that. There's always a new guy coming up, and Zane Rutherford and Jordan Oliver, they're not going anywhere. But man, Yianni's going to be tough to beat and really exciting for the United States. Another big match, Suriano versus Joe Colon, 3-1. Each guy gets a a step out. No, shot clock point. But the one takedown goes to Suriano, and that's a true Suriano win right there, where he doesn't give up any offensive points and scores a takedown. So Colon really wasn't able to get to his parterre offense where he's really strong, and Suriano did what he needed to win. And man, I'd love to see Nick wrestling more. So he's got some more NCAA seasons to go, but here we go, some more future. His teammate, Rutgers teammate Ashnault, lost 8-4. James Green, just a little better freestyle wrestler, maybe a little more horsepower, and took that one. I think Ashnault scored late. It was a little bit of a lopsided match, but a fun one. I thought Derek White looked kind of good. He lost 9-0 to Gwiz. Gwiz is a 2-time world medalist. But White, he got that slide by. He got to that slide by position. I thought, man, he had it all, but scored. Gwiz just kept wrestling, popped out of there, and he scored himself. But his high crotches look good. He's strong. It's going to be fun, I think, seeing Derek White doing more freestyle. I hope he does. And, man, add more depth at that already just stacked weight class in the United States. Jack Mueller, he looked really good against Pitch. Mueller, man, started making some noise at NCAAs. I think he was a little under the radar. He's not really going to be anymore. A good performance by him. Hate to see David Taylor's match end the way it does, that injury default. I was really surprised when the match stopped initially that Taylor tried to go out and wrestle again. End of the day, it's an exhibition. Taylor wants to put on a show. And he cares about Beat the Streets, but he got another world title to win. Please, I hope that everything's good by Final X and he's good to go. You always want, all the guys to be as close to 100% as possible when we get to these, when we make our world team. So, David, get healthy. We love you. Update with GroWrestling. GroWrestling, we just finished 3 freestyle events here in Kansas City. Thought it went pretty well. Next event isn't until October. That's the Fall Brawl. we have a smaller event before that, Super 32 early entry event, but Fall Brawl is the next big one. That's in October. We're going to keep the foot on the gas there, make sure it's the best Fall Brawl yet. But in the meantime, hopefully, let's focus some more on content. That's my roots, what I love to do. If you're interested in having an event, a camp, a club covered, hit me up, joe@growwrestling.org. And yeah, thanks to Blue Chip for making this possible. We'll see you out there.